Before serving in a variety of roles at the White House, including counselor to the president, attorney Alina Habba was his personal attorney in high-profile cases dating back to 2021. She joins us now to talk about the current state of his administration and the country. Please welcome Alina Habba. Welcome to The View.
So I'll start us out. So you recently stepped away from your advisory role in the White House, but you remain close with the president and his team. And you were in the ballroom this weekend when shots rang out just outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So we wanted to ask, how are you doing and what was that night like for you?
Jarring, to say the least. I don't think it actually hit me until I started watching the footage after and I saw videos of me on the floor. I don't think anything puts life in perspective other than being in a situation that's life or death. And I think the important thing in that moment was there were all walks of life in that room. There were all politics in that room. Yeah. And we all suffered and felt the same exact thing in that moment, which was, let me get back to my family. Let me get out of this safely. You know, colleagues of yours that I've spoken to since then, we were all there together. Everybody was getting along and excited for a great night. And then we heard shots and everything changed. Yeah. I'm still rattled, to be honest, by it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, during Hot Topics earlier today, we discussed the most recent federal indictment of former FBI Director James Comey related to an Instagram post of seashells, an Instagram post that he deleted the very next day and apologized for. Do you think Comey's post rises to the level of a criminal threat against the life of the president and supports an indictment?
I do. I'll explain why. After Comey's post, and this is where I go back to Saturday's events, the responsibility of certain individuals like us, we all have a very big voice. He is a former FBI director. He knows what 8647 meant. There's no question about it. He actually went on TV later.
What do you think 86 means?
To kill the president. To get rid of the president. That's what it means. By the way, his words, not mine, if you look at his late night show.
But the dictionary disagrees with you on that.
Well, he's the FBI director.
They use it in restaurants. Do they mean to kill any
you don't
of the
think
meat?
it
What
might
do they kill?
Let me tell you let me just tell you what happened after James Comey's post. A gentleman posted that about me. He posted on Twitter, 86 Habba, and he was also charged. He was charged in Florida, and he was held accountable because you cannot do it. Now, this is an FBI director. We have responsibilities. You guys have responsibilities not to call the president certain things or say things that could incite violence. I most certainly think after Saturday, I have a completely new perspective on how important our voices are and how we use them.
Can I mention one thing, that Matt Gaetz also used that 86 many times and nothing happened to him?
Well, I think we look at everything. I'll be honest with you. Absolutely everything is in context. I don't think anybody is immune to it. I don't think we should be sitting here and nobody has condemned Jimmy Kimmel for his comments. Those were despicable.
Joy pointed out earlier, and the president also posted death to Democrats. Do you think the president should be held responsible for that?
When you, all due respect. I haven't seen that post. I will tell you what I did see.
It does exist.
Okay. What I can tell you is this. And who was the Attorney General and the DOJ at that point?
Probably Pam Bondi, no?
Yeah.
No. Here's how I feel about this. Here's directly how I feel about this. Nobody should be inciting violence, period. That's my perspective.
Including the president.
But you have to remember something. The Department of Justice brings real cases. We are not Jack Smith. We are not Letitia James. We bring real cases against people.
No, I know. I actually had the pleasure of serving as a former federal prosecutor at the Department of Justice. But let me ask you this. I do believe that this is a vindictive prosecution against Comey, directed by the president. And so far, with little success, because he's done this many times. As Trump's personal attorney, you actually were sanctioned nearly $1 million for filing a frivolous civil lawsuit against Comey, against Hillary Clinton and others, that a federal judge called political grievances masquerading as legal claims. So why should anyone believe this pattern of targeting Trump's enemies is about justice and not revenge?
If you think that the Russian collusion hoax, if you think that the things that we've now seen evidence of in this Department of Justice aren't real, I'd just tell you to sit tight because things are coming. Because what they did was weaponize. I don't want to hear about weaponization because the reason you all know who I am is because of weaponization. I sat through targeting, people saying we're going to get Trump, and then a Hillary Clinton appointed judge sanctioned me for suing Hillary Clinton. By the way, I'm proud of that.
Well,
I'm proud of what I did.
Actually,
because it was the right thing to do.
Let me get Alyssa in here. Let me get Alyssa.
I just have to correct something,
Okay.
though, Whoopi. It was actually Bill Clinton, but that appointed that judge, but also a three-judge panel. A three-judge panel consisting of a Bush appointee, a Trump appointee, and a Biden appointee actually agreed with that court's decision. And in a 36-page opinion.
Which one was it again? Repeat it.
And basically,
I do want to move on because,
do your thing.
as I
basically
mentioned,
renewed the,
a lot of my friend and
sustained it.
family supported this president. A lot of them still do, but they vote for him on the cost of living. And we're talking about all these issues that seem so just secondary to what the American people care about. The cost of childcare, the cost of gas right now, basic ability to make ends meet. I grew up in a family where we really at times were living paycheck to paycheck. So I want to understand when we're hearing about the war in Iran, which I can defend Iran not having a nuclear weapon, but a war that's costing us a ton of money, potentially the taxpayers footing a $400 million ballroom, and then these things like focusing on James Comey. Is this what the American people voted for Trump on? And do you think he's delivering on the cost of living issues?
Okay, there was a lot in there, so let me just break it up. On the cost of living, the one big beautiful bill did more for the American, not the rich, the regular Americans. No tax on tips, Social Security.
What about loss of health care coverage?
How about prescription drug prices going down,
really
prices going down? And when you talk about the oil,
for who?
Let's remember for who.
Yeah.
Do you think
Look
the
at
There's a lot. I
It's
am
a
looking
fact.
at it, and a lot of people lost their health care,
insurance.
their health insurance.
Are you talking about Obamacare?
No, babe, I'm talking about your big, beautiful bill. But
subsidies
finish
on
your
Obamacare.
question. I don't want to get
No,
in
what
that.
you're talking about is
let me
Obamacare.
let her finish her question, then we'll talk.
I'll let you continue, but one of the criticisms that many people, Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, had was that people would be losing Obamacare subsidies. I don't agree with Obamacare, but I also don't think you can pull the rug out from under people and have their premiums go through the roof. So how do you address
without
that?
another plan?
Yeah.
I can
Or
tell
concepts of a plan.
Here's the deal. I see, Sonny, all due respect to you, I've been there with the president. I've seen him shake down and be tough with these people. I'm there. I saw it. He is tough. He is a negotiator by trade, a businessman by trade. He is a great president, but I will tell you that he does not pull the rug from anybody without trying to do what is best for the American people. The economy, and by the way, on oil, this is short-term pain for long-term gain. We cannot have the president of the United States allow, and he has always said this, you know that. The people in your family that voted for him know that. He will not allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. That is not just good for America.
I thought
That
the
is the
nuclear
world.
program was obliterated. That's what he said. It's gone. It's obliterated.
We have
Joy,
taken
you
down
gotta,
an
you gotta,
80.
I got to get you in.
He's a great businessman. He bankrupted 2 casinos. I'm just saying.
I would like you to look at how many wealthy people filed for bankruptcy.
All right, let me just ask you this question, because until recently, you were a senior advisor to the former Attorney General Pam Bondi. She was fired, reportedly, for not pursuing these cases aggressively enough. So she wouldn't be going after Comey, I would assume, right?
I don't speak to that. First of all,
Okay.
the U.S. attorney, as you know, in North Carolina, is the person that charged Comey.
Okay, so now it looks like the acting Attorney General brought these charges, that Todd Blanche is auditioning for the role. But now your name's been floated for the AG job.
Has it?
Are you interested?
Let me say this. I have never had a conversation with the president or anybody in the administration to become the attorney general. I had the pleasure of serving as the U.S. attorney, and during that time, Camden had their first murder-free summer in 50 years, and I served the people of New Jersey well. I serve at the pleasure of the president. I think it is the greatest honor to serve your country in any capacity.
Do you think you're qualified to be the Attorney General of the United States?
You know what? We're going to have more
It's not
with
even in
Alina Habba.
discussions.
You want to finish your statement? You want to finish
No,
what you were
it's all
saying?
good.
Okay. Alina, I have a question for you, because as the child of immigrants, you know what it takes for people to pick up and take their kids and come to another country. And if you're lucky enough that you could fly to this country, it's a wonderful thing. But how do you justify, or do you justify the president's attitude against immigration? Knowing what you know, do you say to him, that's not quite how this, people aren't just coming to lay around and collect money, people are actually fleeing. Are you able to point that out at all to him?
The president and I have spoken about immigration. He is pro-immigration the right way through the front door, through our systems, through the policies. He is not pro somebody getting stabbed on a bus.
Well,
he is not pro-rapist.
but you're mixing two things up because I'm talking about... Yeah, because you're talking... let me say, you're talking about incidents that happen. So we could all say, well, if these people weren't here, if these people weren't here, I'm talking about people who are fleeing their country where their child might be in danger, their child's sexuality might be in danger, whatever, for whatever reason, and people who have to walk, because not everybody can fly. How are you able to sit with him knowing what you know? Are you able to communicate with him what it takes for people to get up and leave? I know your folks did it.
Yeah.
Are you able to
Your parents are devout Catholics who fled Iraq.
That's
yes.
Right? That's right, Baghdad, yes.
And he has blocked immigration from various countries.
There is a vetting process that must be complied with. That is the position of the State Department. That is the position of, by the way, Homeland Security, which we need to fund because we need that to keep us safe from people that come in that should not be here.
But wait,
There is a difference. He's
Yeah,
not anti-immigration.
But one question, Alina, is so many of us agree with following the rules and having them.
Yeah.
We can't be an open country. But when we heard about what he was going to do, it was a uniting force. We're going to take all the violent criminals out of this country. And many people, I'm an independent, I could get on board with that. Great. What we've seen, which I'm sure you can concede, you've witnessed some of this, when like 75% of the people who've been picked up had no criminal records. So we're seeing that extend. Are you able to see that part and why some people are really upset that it didn't really come with the message?
Here's the thing. You guys said earlier in the show, I would care more if they were looking at removing people from hurting the president before it happens, removing these incidents that we just had on Saturday and things like that. When you have illegals come in, they are by de facto a criminal. They are illegals.
What about Afghans who served alongside U.S. forces in the war on terrorism?
What
We're
about
sending
Haitians?
some of them back to their deaths.
They should come in the right way, be vetted. If you
Many
have
came through the
civ
CIV program, but they're now being sent
I
to
know.
third-party countries.
I'm so
go.
sorry.
We have another
I'm
guest.
sorry.
You'll have to come back.
You'll have to
Thanks,
come back.
yes.
I'd be happy.
Thanks to Alina Habba. She'll come back.